Morning everyone, welcome back to another Walking Wild production. So today we're focusing on the village of Semington in Wiltshire. I've been looking at my my database which I use online. It's called the EDOB, Extended Database of Britain, which incidentally is a fantastic piece of work being put together. Why is Semington so important? It's completely surrounded with anti-tank ditches, anti-tank defensive positions, pillboxes, you know, the whole 9 yards. So I think is it the village? Oh, I don't know. So checking it out, it's actually, and I apologise villagers, it's not the village that's the important part. It's the main road, the Main A350, which ran through the heart of the village here. So for the Germans, heading from the south coast in that direction, heading north, heading towards our industrial heartland, then this Main A350, as I said, would have been one of the main arterial routes for them to use. Hence the importance of Semington. It was actually classed as a Category C nodal point. And in layman's terms, basically it was designed or expected to hold back the enemy for at least 24 hours. We've walked about 300 metres down the road, and very prominently now, it has recently been cleared by the villagers, it's this anti-tank position protecting what was the main road that ran through the heart of the village. So looking inside, this is a DFW 3/Type 28A anti-tank gun emplacement. So looking at the rear door, this is where the main artillery piece was wheeled in and out, and probably the munitions store in there. And it's also got some loophole firing positions there, and over there there's added protection. But you can see the field of fire afforded by this position here. So there was a real field of fire, bearing in mind those houses weren't there in 1940. So in order for the Germans to advance, they obviously had to breach or cross the Canal at some point. So these bridges here, this main bridge here, and it is wider than most of the other bridges on the canal, because it was, as I said, the Main A350. So it was obviously wider to take 2 lanes of traffic. So this bridge most definitely would have been mined and blown up before the Germans got anywhere near it. So what we're doing now, we're walking west from the Semington Road Bridge we just looked at, and we're walking west along the canal, and we're going to try and do a complete circuit of the village. Check out the defences as we find them. About a quarter of a mile from the last bridge we looked at there, we come to the Semington Aqueduct. So this aqueduct is taking the Kennet and Avon Canal over the Semington Brook there. If you look down over the edge here, you know, somewhat overgrown now since the last time I was here, there are 2, you see them emerging from the undergrowth there, 2 anti-tank cylinders, or dragon's teeth as they were known then. So 80 odd years ago they would have been up here. Hope you can see just over there in the undergrowth there is a pillbox. So I'm not certain if we're going to be able to get around to that one. Hopefully we can, we'll check it out. We're walking down towards the swing bridge there. We've now reached the swing bridge, and there are a couple of dragon's teeth there, anti-tank cylinders. So the path, I guess it was a track, a farmer's track or whatever, it still is a farmer's track, comes up through there and crosses over the swing bridge, and there's Semington village in the background there. So I'm pretty confident, they've probably been concreted over now, there would have been some anti-tank vertical rails emplacements on this side through here, and on the other side on track going down. Let's go and have a look over there. On the other side of the swing bridge and through the kissing gate here, there are two more dragon's teeth parked up there. So they would have been used in conjunction with those two over there to block this swing bridge. So from this point here, on the swing bridge there, and through and across the field there, there's no real evidence on it, but there was an anti-tank ditch which was dug along here, encircled the village of Semington and rejoined the canal, and with the defences all the way around that point, Semington was classed as a tank killing zone. We've walked a few hundred metres. You can see the swing bridge in the background there. So we've walked south along this track and come to this point here, this crossing point here. So in the hedge there is a dragon's tooth, anti-tank cylinder, but on the ground here you can see where the anti-tank vertical rails were installed. There, all the way through here. At some stage, maybe if you dug out under there, they probably would have been that side as well. So the purpose of the vertical rails, there was a steel girder, I think a railway line, was inserted into these holes. If a tank did try to cross it, then it was going to rise up in the air and expose its weaker underside. This field is private land. In that corner we looked at earlier down there is where the Type 22 shell-proof pillbox is. I can't get it from that side where there's a public right-of-way, and this is private land. So I'm going to pop back over there, if it is public right-of-way, and I'm going to pop the drone up and see if I can get over there and take a few pictures of that pillbox. There's a couple of pictures there. That's as close as I could really get. There's some power lines crossing around, and even though the drone has got omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, it won't avoid small power lines. So there is, and you can't see it, and this is about as close as I can get to it. There's a landowner has got it completely fenced off, the field and the actual bunker itself, which is fair enough. He doesn't want Joe Public traipsing all over his land, and I fully understand that and respect that. But maybe if I put the camera up high enough, there is a Type 28A anti-tank gun emplacement. We've just turned to the right, heading back towards the west. St George's Hospital, the old St George's Hospital is just up there. So you come down what is a cycle path. Now you can take my word for this, but underneath all that vegetation there are a couple of anti-tank cylinders, dragon's teeth. I know they're there because I saw them last year when it wasn't quite so overgrown. But you know, this time of year you're going to walk straight past them. But as you can see, we've pretty much come full circle now around Semington and back to where we first started with the anti-tank Type 28A position there. And the anti-tank ditch came through here and carried on and joined the Avon Canal east of the new viaduct on the bypass. So as we come into the field from the anti-tank position up there, and this is a public right-of-way as far as I can tell. There's a footpath sign up there, so and buried in there is a Type 22 shell-proof pillbox. I'm not even going to attempt to get in there. I've only got my shorts on today, get stung to pieces. But come the winter, we'll have another look. This is the line through here of the anti-tank ditch. So obviously the tank gun there was protecting there, the pillbox here was protecting through here as well. So we're going to try and follow the line of the ditch back to where it joins the canal in that direction. Picked up the line of the anti-tank ditch again, coming through from that way through here, around the bottom of the church, around the bottom of the graveyard. There's a church there, and it's following around in this direction, maybe straight through where those houses are now, because obviously they weren't there, but certainly in that direction. Following the line of the anti-tank ditch, coming around the edge of the field here. Again, unfortunately, it's private land, but we'll respect that. Another Type 28A anti-tank emplacement. Now this is the edge of the anti-tank ditch here. The anti-tank ditch is coming through this way and carrying on up through there. So the purpose of the ditch, when their forces were trying to get through, they had been stopped by the ditch, and then the anti-tank gun would have taken them out. So following the line of the ditch, I'm pretty certain it was probably through where this row of trees is here. Because when we come to this point here, there's the anti-tank gun emplacement in the distance there. But here, as you can see, the vertical rail slots blocking this entrance. Obviously our forces had to get inside there with the artillery piece, so it needed to be brought through here, I guess, and into the position up there. So yeah, I'm pretty certain the anti-tank ditch came through here, and obviously when the guys were in their position, the anti-tank rails were put back in. Should the enemy tried to get across there, the rails were designed to push the tank up into the air to expose its weaker underbelly. And with that exposed, that, boom, takes them out. I'm pretty confident that this hedge line here, coming through here, is the remnants of the anti-tank ditch. So if you look in there, definite ditch through there. There's definitely a ditch through here, and would have been across there. So there is a public footpath. You can see the sign in the distance. I just got to work out how to get to it. I think there may be a bridge down there. A bridge over the brook. There's a book there somewhere. In this hedge line here is an anti-tank cylinder, but I can't see it. So there's the canal, so the anti-tank ditch came up through here to join the canal. Probably this hedge line, not 100% certain, but there's a pretty good chance it was. I'm going to finish our walk today with a little bit of nature. That's what a farmer has left this whole strip of clover around his field, all the way around and down there. Wonderful to see. So that's the end of our little walk today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and usual YouTube stuff, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.